the linguistic rules, we really have 5 main areas that I want to touch base on this morning. You can classify these as 5 subsystems, 5 rules. Sometimes people collapse them into 3 types of rules. So I've shown you kind of the transformation here. In this class, we spend a lot of time using this terminology on the left: phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. But we often might resort to another type of classification, which is form, content, and use. So the rules of language that surround the form, which in spoken language you can think about as the perceivable aspects, involve phonology, which we'll get to in just a second, but which is the study of a language's sound system. Morphology, which is how we put together a word. Syntax, which is how we build upon words to create phrases and sentences. These 3 things go into creating the language's form. Okay? The next rule classification that we can come to is semantics. And semantics relates to the meaning of a symbol. Okay? The other classification thinks of it as the content of our message. And then the final rule we can talk about is pragmatics. It's thinking about how we use language. So sometimes you'll be reading and you'll learn about how preschoolers are developing in the aspects of language form. You go, well, what does that mean exactly? It means how they're developing in terms of phonology, morphology, syntax. Keep in mind that kids develop in all of these different areas as they age, but the development in these areas isn't linear. They don't do the same advancements in phonology and semantics and pragmatics when they're infants and toddlers. Some of the systems develop more rapidly, others might take a little bit slower course. And then that might change. In the preschool period, we see huge advancements in things like syntax and morphology. Okay? So all of these systems continue to develop, but they're not all developing at the same rate, on the same trajectory. Does that make sense? There's differences in terms of how kids are developing in these different areas in terms of the age of a child. And all kids are different too. I mean, there's inherent variability.